There are very few shows in television history that can honestly claim they changed the way we watch TV forever. Cheers is one of them. From the moment that iconic theme song played and those vintage photographs filled the screen, audiences around the world were pulled into a cozy Boston bar where everybody knew your name, and they were always glad you came. Cheers debuted on NBC on September 30th, 1982, and what followed was nothing short of television royalty. The show ran for 11 spectacular seasons, wrapping up in 1993 with a finale that drew over 80 million viewers, one of the most watched television finales in American history. It collected 111 Emmy Award nominations and took home 28 of them, a record-breaking achievement at the time. It launched careers, defined an era, and gave us characters so rich and layered that even today, decades later, people still quote Sam, Diane, Carla, Cliff, Norm, Frasier, Woody, Lilith, and Rebecca like they're old friends. But here's the thing about time. It spares no one, not even the stars of our favorite shows. The cast of Cheers has lived through triumphs, heartbreaks, Oscar wins, personal struggles, reinventions, and, in some cases, deeply tragic losses. So today we're going on a journey back to that beloved Boston bar, and then fast-forwarding to see where each of these incredible actors ended up. From career highs you never expected to personal twists that will genuinely surprise you, this is the cast of Cheers, then and now. Before we dive in, if you love classic TV and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Now let's kick things off with number one. Number 1. Ted Danson, Sam Malone. When Cheers premiered in 1982, Ted Danson was 35 years old and already working steadily in Hollywood. But nothing had quite broken through yet. That all changed the moment he walked behind that bar as Sam Malone, the charming, roguish former Red Sox relief pitcher turned bar owner. Sam was everything you'd want in a leading man: handsome, funny, self-deprecating, and just flawed enough to be completely lovable. He was a recovering alcoholic with a weakness for beautiful women and a heart of gold buried under layers of bravado, and Danson played every note of that character with effortless, magnetic ease. The chemistry Danson created with Shelley Long in those early seasons is the stuff of legend. The Sam and Diane will they won't they dynamic kept audiences glued to their screens for 5 seasons. When Long departed, many predicted the show would collapse. Instead, Danson stepped up his game and carried Cheers through another 6 seasons alongside Kirstie Alley, proving that his talent was the show's true anchor. During the run of Cheers, Danson also ventured into film, landing a starring role in the 1987 comedy 3 Men and a Baby, alongside Tom Selleck and Steve Guttenberg, which became one of the highest-grossing films of that year. He was nominated for Golden Globe Awards and Emmy Awards for his work on Cheers multiple times, winning the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series twice, in 1990 and 1993. After Cheers ended, Danson took on a wide variety of roles that showed the depth and range audiences had always suspected was there. He starred in Becker, a CBS sitcom, from 1998 to 2004, playing a grumpy but brilliant doctor. He appeared in HBO's Bored to Death and took a memorable recurring role in Damages. But it was his work in The Good Place, NBC's beloved philosophical comedy that ran from 2016 to 2020, that introduced him to an entirely new generation of fans. His portrayal of Michael, a demon architect with a secret agenda, earned him critical acclaim and a new wave of admiration. On the personal side, Danson's life has had its share of headlines. He was married to actress Cassandra Coates from 1977 until 1993, and they have 2 daughters together. After a high-profile and tabloid-heavy relationship with Whoopi Goldberg in the early 1990s, he found lasting love with actress Mary Steenburgen, whom he married in 1995. The two have been one of Hollywood's most enduring and genuinely beloved couples ever since. Today, Ted Danson is in his late 70s and showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. He continues to work steadily in television and film. Ice remains an outspoken environmental activist, particularly around ocean conservation, and carries himself with the grace of a man who has fully earned his legendary status. His journey from Boston bartender to multi-generational icon is one of Hollywood's great success stories. Next up, number 2. Number 2, Shelley Long, Diane Chambers. If Sam Malone was the heart of Cheers, Diane Chambers was its soul. Neurotic, intellectual, pretentious in the most endearing way possible. Hayden played with absolute comedic brilliance by Shelley Long. When the show launched, Long was 33 years old and had done some television work, but Diane was the role that made the world take notice. She was the polar opposite of everyone in that bar. An academic, an aspiring writer, an overthinker in a room full of underthinkers, and yet somehow she fit perfectly. Long's comic timing was razor sharp. She could deliver a line dripping with intellectual snobbery and then immediately undercut it with perfect physical comedy, and the result was a character who was simultaneously infuriating and irresistible. Her Emmy win for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series in 1983 was fully deserved, and her 4 additional nominations over the following years confirmed she was operating at the very top of her craft. Then, in 1987, Long made the stunning decision to leave Cheers at the height of its popularity to pursue a film career. It was a choice that Hollywood insiders second-guessed loudly and publicly. Her film projects, including Outrageous Fortune and Troop Beverly Hills, were fun, but never reached the cultural stratosphere that Cheers occupied. The departure became one of those great Hollywood cautionary tales about leaving a winning formula too soon. She did return to Cheers for the series finale in 1993, reprising her role as Diane in a moment that gave the show's original fans enormous emotional satisfaction. That finale appearance reminded everyone just how special the Long-Danson dynamic had been. In the years that followed, Long continued working in television, appearing in shows like Boston Legal, Modern Family, and NCIS in guest roles. She was candid in interviews about the personal challenges she faced after leaving Cheers, including going through a divorce from her husband Bruce Tyson in 2004 after 25 years of marriage. She has spoken openly about the pressures of Hollywood and the difficulty of navigating a career after the kind of defining role Diane Chambers was. Today, Shelley Long is in her mid-70s and remains a beloved figure in the world of classic television. She continues to make occasional appearances on screen and at fan events, and her legacy as Diane Chambers is rock solid, a character so vivid and original that she remains one of the greatest sitcom creations in television history. Whatever the chapter that followed, nothing takes away from what she built in that bar. Shifting now to number 3. Number 3, Kirstie Alley, Rebecca Howe. When Shelley Long departed, Cheers, the producers made a bold and risky call. Rather than recast or reshape the show around existing characters, they brought in a completely new female lead. Kirstie Alley stepped into that role as Rebecca Howe, the buttoned-up, corporate-minded manager sent to oversee the bar on behalf of a larger company, and she was sensational from her very first episode. Alley was 36 when she joined Cheers in 1987, and she brought a completely different energy to the show. More neurotic vulnerability than Diane's intellectual vanity, more openly comedic in her desperation and insecurity. The audience accepted her immediately, and the chemistry she developed with Danson and the rest of the ensemble was electric. She earned an Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series in 1991, confirming what viewers already knew. Kirstie Alley was a genuine star. Her film career during and after Cheers was equally impressive. Look Who's Talking in 1989, opposite John Travolta, was a massive box office success. That and its sequels kept her in the mainstream spotlight through the early 1990s. She also starred in the critically praised dramatic miniseries North and South in the 1980s, showcasing her range beyond comedy. Kirstie Alley's personal life was often as colorful as her professional one. She was married to actor Parker Stevenson from 1983 to 1997, and the couple adopted 2 children together. She was known for her dedication to Scientology and spoke about it frequently throughout her career. In her later years, she became well known for her candid public discussions about weight, body image, and her various health journeys, including her starring role in the reality series Kirstie Alley's Big Life. Sadly, Kirstie Alley passed away on December 5, 2022, following a brief battle with colon cancer. She was 71 years old. The outpouring of love and tributes from her Cheers co-stars and from the entertainment world was enormous and deeply moving. Ted Danson, Rhea Perlman, and others shared heartfelt remembrances of a woman who was, by all accounts, as funny, warm, and generous in real life as she was on screen. Her passing was a genuine loss, both for the world of entertainment and for everyone who grew up laughing with her. Now let's move on to number 4. Number 4, John Ratzenberger, Cliff Clavin. Ask any Cheers fan to name the characters they loved most, and Cliff Clavin will always be on the list. The know-it-all, trivia-obsessed, mama's boy postal worker was never supposed to be a series regular. John Ratzenberger famously convinced the producers to let him audition for a bar know-it-all character that he himself suggested during his audition. They said yes, and what followed was one of the greatest casting decisions in sitcom history. Ratzenberger was 35 when the show began, and he played Cliff with an extraordinary combination of pomposity and sweetness that made the character impossible to dislike, despite his relentless tendency to be wrong about everything he claimed to know. The Cliff-Norm friendship was the show's warm, beating comic heart, and Ratzenberger's chemistry with George Wendt was a gift to audiences for all 11 seasons. After Cheers, Ratzenberger carved out a remarkable second career as the go-to voice actor for Pixar Animation Studios. He has appeared in virtually every Pixar film, from Toy Story as Ham the Piggy Bank, to Cars as Mac the Truck, to Up as Tom the Construction Foreman, earning him the affectionate nickname Pixar's good luck charm. It is a legacy that introduced him to generations of children who had never seen a single episode of Cheers. He has also remained active in advocacy work supporting American manufacturing and craftsmanship, hosting the television series Made in America on the Travel Channel. In his personal life, he has been married to Julie Blakefelt since 1998, and the couple have children together. Today, John Ratzenberger is in his mid-70s, beloved by fans across multiple generations, and still working steadily in voice acting and television. He is proof that a great character played with real commitment can follow you in the best possible way for the rest of your life. Let's keep going with number 5. Number 5. George Wendt, Norm Peterson. Norm. If there is a single word that defines Cheers, it might be that one. Every time Norm Peterson lumbered through that bar door, the entire room erupted in his name, and audiences at home did the same. George Wendt created one of the most comforting characters in TV history, the eternal barstool philosopher, loving his wife Vera from a distance, endlessly avoiding work, and delivering some of the sharpest one-liners the writers ever crafted. Wendt was 33 when Cheers began, and his physical comedic presence was perfect. There was a warmth and a world weariness to Norm that made every scene he was in feel like sinking into a well-worn armchair. He was nominated for 6 consecutive Emmy Awards during the show's run, which is a testament not just to his consistency, but to how central Norm was to the show's identity. After Cheers, Wendt continued working steadily in television and theater. He appeared in numerous guest roles across a wide variety of series and had a long run doing stage work, including musical theater. He has also stayed close to his Cheers family. His friendship with John Ratzenberger has remained one of the show's most enduring off-screen bonds, and the two have appeared together at fan conventions and events over the years. In his personal life, Wendt has been married to actress Bernadette Burkett since 1978, a relationship that long outlasted the show itself. Burkett was also the uncredited voice of Vera on Cheers, meaning the woman Norm talked about endlessly was played by his real-life wife, which is one of those delightful pieces of television trivia that feels almost too perfect to be true. Today, George Wendt is in his mid-70s and remains one of the most genuinely beloved figures from the Cheers era. His warmth, his humor, and his grounded authenticity have served him well in life as much as in art. Moving right along to number 6. Number 6, Kelsey Grammer, Dr. Frasier Crane. Of all the cast members who emerged from the world of Cheers, none parlayed their time on that show into a bigger or more sustained legacy than Kelsey Grammer. He joined Cheers in season 3 as Dr. Frasier Crane, a pompous but deeply insecure psychiatrist who came to the bar as Diane's boyfriend and stayed through love, loss, divorce, and reinvention for the rest of the show's run. Grammer was 28 when he first appeared as Frasier, and what began as a supporting role gradually expanded as it became clear that he was doing something truly extraordinary with the character. Frasier was erudite, self-important, emotionally fragile, and laugh-out-loud funny in ways that the writers and Grammer seemed to discover new depths of with every season. Then, in 1993, the impossible happened. A spin-off. Frasier launched in September of that year, moved the character to Seattle, and ran for 11 seasons of its own, matching Cheers almost beat for beat in terms of critical and commercial success. Grammer won 4 Emmy Awards for playing Frasier Crane across both series, making him the only actor in history to win Emmys for playing the same character across 4 separate decades. The show concluded in 2004 and was, at the time, considered one of the most successful spin-offs in television history. Grammer's personal life has been far more turbulent than his professional one. He has been married 4 times and has been open about his struggles with addiction, depression, and personal tragedy, including the murder of his sister and the death of 2 half-brothers. His resilience in the face of those challenges is remarkable. In 2023, Frasier was revived with a new sequel series that returned Grammer to the role after nearly 2 decades, introducing the beloved character to yet another generation. Today, Kelsey Grammer is in his late 60s, still doing what he does better than almost anyone, and he shows no signs of handing Frasier Crane's turtleneck and sherry glass to anyone else. Shifting now to number 7. Number 7. Rhea Perlman, Carla Tortelli. Carla Tortelli was the firecracker at the center of Cheers. Sharp-tongued, on fiercely maternal, romantically complicated, and absolutely hilarious in the hands of Rhea Perlman. She joined the cast from day one as the wise-cracking waitress with a rotating cast of ex-husbands, a seemingly endless stream of children, and a wit so fast and vicious it could stop a room cold. Perlman was 34 when the show began, and she played Carla with the kind of lived-in physical authenticity that can't be manufactured. It either comes naturally or it doesn't. And for Perlman, it absolutely did. She won 4 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a comedy series during the show's run, making her one of the most decorated performers in Cheers history and one of the most celebrated supporting actors of her television generation. After Cheers, Perlman remained busy in television and film, taking on guest roles across dozens of shows and appearing in family films. She has also had a significant career in voice acting and lending her voice to various animated projects. Her warmth and comedic instincts translated beautifully to every medium she touched. In her personal life, Perlman was married to actor Danny DeVito for decades, one of Hollywood's seemingly rock-solid long-term relationships. The couple, who married in 1982, announced a separation in 2012 after 30 years together. Though their relationship has remained close and affectionate in public, they have 3 children together, including actress Lucy DeVito. Today, Rhea Perlman is in her mid-70s and continues to appear in television and film. She remains one of the most instantly recognizable and deeply loved figures from the Cheers universe, a woman whose talent was so consistent and so specific that watching her work is like watching a master craftsperson. Every gesture deliberate, every laugh earned. Let's continue to number 8. On number 8, Woody Harrelson, Woody Boyd. When Coach Ernie Pantuso, played by the beloved Nicholas Colasanto, passed away in 1985, Cheers faced the challenge of filling a role that had been warmly woven into the show's emotional fabric. They did it by introducing Woody Boyd, a sweet, naively cheerful farm boy from Indiana, played by a then-unknown 24-year-old actor named Woody Harrelson. Harrelson joined Cheers in 1985 and was, by any measure, a revelation. And his portrayal of Woody was so gentle, so genuinely guileless, and so perfectly calibrated for ensemble comedy that audiences welcomed him immediately and completely. He won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series in 1989 for the role, and the nomination and win felt completely right to everyone watching. But what followed Cheers was perhaps the most dramatic reinvention of any cast member's career. Woody Harrelson became one of the most versatile and adventurous actors of his generation. His breakthrough dramatic role came in Natural Born Killers in 1994, followed by a string of films that proved his range was almost limitless. The People vs. Larry Flynt earned him his first Academy Award nomination, and No Country for Old Men: The Messenger, 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, and the Hunger Games franchise further cemented his reputation as one of the finest actors working today. He has also been outspoken throughout his career about environmental causes, veganism, and various political beliefs, carrying his activism with the same relaxed, unshowy commitment he brings to his acting. In his personal life, Harrelson has been married to Laura Louie since 2008, and the couple have 3 daughters together. He has spoken openly about his unconventional approach to life and family, and by all accounts, he is as genuine and grounded off-screen as Woody Boyd was on it. Today, Woody Harrelson is in his early 60s, an A-list film star, a Tony Award winner for his stage work, and one of the great unexpected success stories of the Cheers cast. Not bad for the wide-eyed kid from Hanover, Indiana. Now let's head to number 9. Number 9, Bebe Neuwirth, Lilith Sternin. She walked into Cheers as a 1-episode guest star, a rigid, humorless psychiatrist who was meant to be a comic foil for Frasier. But Bebe Neuwirth's portrayal of Lilith Sternin was so precise, so dryly funny, and so unexpectedly layered that the producers immediately brought her back, and back again, until she became a series regular, then a cast member on Frasier, and ultimately one of the most iconic recurring characters in sitcom history. Neuwirth was in her mid-20s when she first appeared on Cheers, and she played Lilith with icy perfection, the flat effect, the measured delivery, the barely concealed contempt for human frailty that somehow coexisted with genuine love for Frasier and their son Frederick. She won 2 Emmy Awards for the role, in 1990 and 1991, confirming what audiences suspected. Lilith wasn't just a great supporting character, she was a great character, full stop. But Bebe Neuwirth's deepest roots are in musical theater, and her stage career has been extraordinary. And she won a Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical for Chicago in 1996, and another Tony for Best Actress in a Musical for Chicago in its Broadway revival. Her work in Sweet Charity and other productions has placed her firmly among the elite of Broadway performers. She is, in the truest sense, a triple threat. She has also continued working in television and film across decades, appearing in shows ranging from Law and Order to Madam Secretary. In her personal life, she has been married twice and has spoken thoughtfully in interviews about the balance between her professional ambitions and personal life. Today, Bebe Neuwirth is in her early 60s, still performing, still impeccably elegant, and still utterly commanding in every room she walks into. Lilith lives on wherever there's a room that needs its temperature lowered by exactly one precise, devastating degree. And that brings us to our final featured cast member, number 10. On number 10, Nicholas Colasanto, Coach Ernie Pantuso. No honest accounting of the Cheers cast can be told without pausing to honor Nicholas Colasanto, who played the lovably addled Coach Ernie Pantuso in the show's first 3 seasons. Coach was the bar's tender-hearted, perpetually confused assistant, a man whose thinking seemed to travel a slightly different route than everyone else's, always arriving at the wrong destination with complete sincerity. The character was warm, funny, and deeply human, and Colasanto made him feel completely real. What many viewers didn't know at the time was that Colasanto was seriously ill during much of the show's run. He was suffering from heart disease, and the visible decline in his health over those first 3 seasons was, in retrospect, heartbreaking to witness. He passed away on February 12, 1985, at the age of 61, before Season 3 had even concluded. The show chose not to address Coach's absence with an explanation immediately, leaving seats empty in the bar in silent tribute. When the show did address his death in the Season 4 premiere, the cast's grief was palpable and genuine, because it was. Colasanto had been deeply beloved by everyone on set. The picture of him that remained hanging in the bar throughout the rest of the show's run was a real tribute, a quiet way of keeping him present. Before Cheers, Colasanto had a distinguished career as both an actor and a director. He directed episodes of Columbo, Family, and other major TV series in the 1970s. His acting credits were substantial, including a memorable role in Raging Bull. But Coach remains his most enduring legacy, a character so filled with warmth that even now watching old episodes, it's impossible not to feel the full depth of what the show lost when he left. His memory was honored beautifully by the Cheers family throughout the show's remaining 8 seasons. And for any viewer who found Cheers for the first time in reruns or streaming, discovering Coach and then learning what happened to the man who played him is one of those genuinely affecting television experiences that reminds you of the humanity behind the performance. From that very first episode in September 1982 to the final tear-filled farewell in 1993, Cheers gave us something genuinely rare in entertainment. A world so real, so warm, and so brilliantly performed that leaving it felt like saying goodbye to actual friends. The cast that brought that world to life: Ted Danson, Shelley Long, Kirstie Alley, John Ratzenberger, George Wendt, Kelsey Grammer, Rhea Perlman, Woody Harrelson, Bebe Neuwirth, Nicholas Colasanto, and the rest of that extraordinary ensemble were working at the very highest level of what television performance can be. Some of them went on to even greater heights. Some reinvented themselves in ways nobody predicted. Some faced private battles that would have broken lesser people and came through them with their dignity and talent intact. And some left us far too soon, but left behind work that will never stop mattering. That's what great television does. It doesn't just entertain, it marks time, anchors memories, and reminds us that even in a noisy, complicated world, there's something deeply comforting about a place where everybody knows your name. If this brought back some good memories, give this video a like. It genuinely helps more people find content like this. Drop a comment below and tell us who your favorite Cheers character was, or which cast member's journey surprised you most. And if you want more then and now breakdowns of classic shows and films, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're always the first to know when we post. Thanks for spending this time with us. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one.